Hi, this is Dave in the IQ Center. I wanted to put together a few videos about how to record whiteboard work. There are lots of disciplines where people do a lot of chalkboard work or whiteboard solving problems and that sort of thing. And this doesn't translate very well to online classes. And so I wanted to put together some tips and techniques for doing this for online classes that are either synchronous or asynchronous. The video you're watching right now is just going to be an overview. We're just going to touch on these topics, and I'll have some deeper dives into various techniques about how to set up the computer and that sort of thing. And when we think about doing whiteboard work, the first thing that comes to mind is to just record it with a video. So I have a video camera pointed at a whiteboard and videotape you doing your stuff. Now that's easier said than done to make it readable and deliver it to students, especially when we talk about a situation where some students are in class and some are off campus. We're going to look at some video techniques first, then we'll look at some tablet-based techniques. And the easiest thing, or what should be the easiest technique, is to use the camera that's already in a classroom. So various classrooms around campus have cameras built in, mounted on the wall, and you can find a list of those here on this website. The issue is that not all of these rooms work the same, and some lend themselves well to doing board work and some not so well. So you're going to need to get into the classroom well ahead of time and do some practicing. And if you have trouble making the camera work, you might need to call out Classroom Technologies. The general procedure is that you turn on the classroom computer, and the camera that's in the room is available through Zoom and UJA. And if you're recording these lectures asynchronously for delivery on demand, you would use UJA to record. And if you're doing it for synchronously with students in the room and outside of class, then you would want to use Zoom. The first thing you need to do is to get the camera pointed at the whiteboard, and this can be easier said than done. Some rooms have remote controls that allow you to point the camera. Some have automatic tracking that may or may not work. So again, testing is the key. But in general, you're going to launch UJA or Zoom, and you should see the output from the camera. And there are some settings that I will go over in a more in-depth video on tips for using room cameras. So that's one option. Another option for recording whiteboards using video is to just use a web camera. You could use the camera on your laptop, but that is problematic. It's hard to point it, and it's hard to get it focused on the board. It's a much better solution to find a cheap web camera. They have these at the help desk, and then mount it on like a selfie stick. Then you can just plug this into your laptop or the classroom computer and put it on a table and point it at a whiteboard or whatever. You can point it at the desk and write stuff down. So this is a handy solution. And actually the quality is often better than some of the room cameras using this technique. So same as with the room cameras, once you plug this into a USB port on your computer, the video shows up as a source. So if you're plugging it into a laptop that has its own camera, you'll see two video sources. And how to switch back and forth, I'll go over in a separate video using web camera for board work. And we'll go over the techniques for getting this set up. But this is a pretty handy solution. Another option for video-based recording of whiteboards is to use the camera you have in your pocket. This is often the best camera that anyone owns, and it's a really good camera. There's a good camera on the front, and there's a good camera on the back. And so you can find these. These are still available. just a little, this one I got from the library, but these are available on Amazon. This is just a little holder for the phone that we can pop this right onto our selfie stick or tripod, and you can point this at a whiteboard, and this can be your camera for recording the whiteboard. For doing asynchronous work, the best way to do this is to just use the camera app that's on the phone. So you can bring up the camera app, switch it to video mode, and hit record, and point it at the board. When you're done recording, the video will show up in your list of photos and videos, and then you can upload that directly to UJA. Now there is a UJA app that's available for the phone, but in the testing that I've done, it doesn't work very well. The aspect ratio is wrong, and sometimes it flips the video. So to be on the safe side, it's just one extra step to record to the internal camera app on the phone, and then upload to UJA using the UJA app. If you're doing this if you're doing it synchronously, when you have some students in the room, some students off campus, you can download the Zoom app to the phone and log into Zoom on the phone, and then you'll have two clients. You'll have a client that is on the classroom computer, and you have a client that is on the phone. And you can switch back and forth, and you can point this at the whiteboard, and you can spotlight this and have students watch the output from the phone from Zoom. And you can actually route that then to the projector in the room as well. So that's a good solution for synchronous applications. Another way to work problems using a video camera is the idea of a document camera. Now there are some document cameras in classrooms around campus, but many of them won't allow you to record the output. It's usually just for sending the document camera output to the projector in the room. If you want to use it through UJA or Zoom, you'll have to have a special kind of document camera. If you see one that is an Epson variety that has a USB output, you can connect it to your laptop, or you can connect it to the classroom computer and have access to it in Zoom or UJA. But many of the document cameras on campus are just for the projector. So, but a workaround for delivering document camera images to UJA or Zoom is by using your phone again, a phone or an iPad. There are various devices for holding it down, pointing at the surface, and you can put your work below your camera. We've built some devices in the IQ Center that will hold an iPad or an iPhone above a document so that you can write on it. And in that case, you can record directly to the camera app, or you can record to deliver it to Zoom or UJA, and that's a pretty good solution. The quality is really good, and it's fairly convenient. Everybody has their phone in their pocket. You may need to have a little device to hold it, but that's a good solution. And I have a video detailing the process of using a phone or a tablet as a document camera or a secondary camera for Zoom or UJA. There are also a number of computer-based solutions to this issue. You can use whiteboarding software on an iPad or an Android tablet. Then you can just use the screen recorder that's built into one of those to record what you're doing on the board. There's a downside to that particular technique in that it will record everything, including your menus and all your tool changes and that sort of thing. There are a couple of really nice sort of purpose-built applications for doing this work. A couple that are used around campus is Doceri and Explain Everything. These will let you record what you're doing, but will hide all of your tools and things like that, and have some other features that make this easier. I have a video about how to use those applications if you're interested in that. And that's for doing asynchronous work. You would record using these applications in the screen recorder and then upload to Yuja. If you want to use a tablet asynchronously, the best way to do that is to actually log the tablet into Zoom using the Zoom application for iPad or Android, and then you can share your screen. And students can see whatever you're doing on the iPad, but there's also a whiteboard application in Zoom, which is very useful. So you hook Zoom up, log in, and then share a whiteboard. This whiteboard is accessible to students as well. If you set it up to allow users to contribute, they're able to write on the same whiteboard that you are. And this feature also works in breakout rooms. So you can send students to a breakout room, and they can launch a whiteboard, and they can work problems together. So you can have 4 students in a breakout room, and they can all be working on the same exact whiteboard, which is useful. I know that there are some people that have requested this exact feature. In some classrooms, I know in the Science Center, there are a few classrooms have a something called a smart tablet that is at the classroom podium, and it has built-in whiteboarding capability. You'll need to check the classroom to make sure that that's available. We have some information on how to use those at the Academic Technologies website. Another option for this is to use a digitizing tablet, and you might know this as by its brand name, the Wacom. There are a few different varieties of these. This is a device that you plug in to your laptop computer or your desktop, and it allows you to use a stylus to write, and you use a desktop application to record what you're writing. Now, people have had trouble with this. It takes a little bit of practice because you're writing on a surface that is not where the annotations are appearing, and that throws some people off. But a lot of people use this, and it's an inexpensive method. I know that Wacom sells a version of their tablet that is, I think, $59. They're available. It wouldn't be too onerous to have students purchase this for use remotely. This would allow students to use the Zoom whiteboard feature from wherever they are. There are also additional videos available on some of these topics, including Doceri and Explain Everything, as well as how to use a tablet or an iPhone as a secondary device in the classroom with Zoom. Those are available on the Academic Technologies website. And as always, you can contact the help desk if you need to get in touch with Academic Technologies for some specific help in any of these areas. Thanks for watching.